Hey, welcome back to beautiful Bologna and welcome back to another video about incredible stuff that you can dive into when you're learning a language. My name's Tom and today I'm going to talk about 6 of my favourite films to watch if you are learning Italian. Before we jump into it though, this is rapidly becoming one of the favourite series on my channel, by the way, because I've just spent 2 days sitting in bed watching Italian films and I can write it all off as research. It's excellent. Right, let's jump into it. Okay, recommendation number 1 is La Vita è Bella, and I don't see how I could start anywhere else because this is such a famous film and it is so beautiful, so hilarious. It includes one of the most charming characters that I think has ever been put to film, in my mind, Guido Orefice, who is expertly played and hilariously played by Roberto Benigni. Guido is a young Jewish man who's trying to start his life, start a family in Italy just at the beginning of World War II, and as fascism is descending upon the continent. And if that gives you an idea of what the film is going to be like, then disregard that idea, because it is a wonderful, joyous, uplifting, hilarious film, even if it does get pretty dark towards the end. Now, practically, in some parts of the film, the language is a little bit fast, but I found that there's always something practical going on to help you understand exactly what is happening, and there is so much speech, so much witty stuff happening in the film that I think it's great for language learners to get into. Okay, I'm going to move the camera setup a little bit now because I want to try and use this video to find the best lighting setup in this new apartment. Okay, recommendation number 2 from a slightly overexposed reverse angle. Maybe we won't use this one again. So recommendation number 2 is Benvenuto Presidente, which is still sticking with the comedy theme but taking a completely different tack this time, because this is very much a sort of silly film, really. It focuses on this old dude, this old fisherman living in this little village in Italy who is accidentally made president by the parliament. And if that sounds like a sort of slightly silly, zany, crowd pleaser kind of thing, this is also what I thought, and I admit that I went into this slightly skeptical, but it is actually very funny and I really enjoyed it because it very quickly turns into a sort of stylized, secretive elite that are sort of played in a very Bond villain-esque kind of way, versus man of the people, pizza eating, actually pretty good president. And I really enjoyed the way that the film came together, and I would actually give it a solid 7 out of 10, and I think it is a lot of fun. Okay, I want to do number 3 and 4 together while I'm waiting for my kettle to boil, and they are La Grande Bellezza and La Dolce Vita. Now, both of these films are incredible, and they would definitely normally deserve their own spot on the list, but I actually saw them both... This is going to be too loud. But I actually saw them both right after the other, and I was struck by how similar they were narratively, so I think it might be fun to talk about them together. Basically, both films have a protagonist, one young, one old, who are living in Rome and trying to answer questions, basically. And that is essentially where the plot begins and ends, because there's no overall aim they're trying to reach, and instead we just see vignettes of their life. We see them going to parties, meeting friends, conducting business. And throughout the course of the film, I don't feel like many questions, or certainly no plot points, are answered. But instead, we get a really great portrait of Rome and of that culture, that type of people that our characters are with. And I think as a language learner, it's really cool to get a portrait like that of the culture that you want to try and connect with when you're learning the language.
Marcello, come here!
Okay, changing the theme again now with numero 5, with Il Conformista, which is kind of a spy film in that the protagonist is sent by the fascist Mussolini government to Paris to assassinate a defector. But it's definitely much more about the themes of family, of conformism, hence the title, and I really enjoyed the sort of dual narrative of what was going on. Now, the film is primarily set in Paris, but what it's really well known for is the scenes back in Italy, because the architecture is unique and it is shot in such an incredible way. The cinematography in this film is genuinely fantastic. I love it, and it just looks beautiful. And if you're a geek like me about such things, then it's just a pleasure to behold, as well as a really incredible story about this spy who goes to Paris and starts to get cold feet. and as somebody who does not speak perfect Italian, I found it very easy to understand what was going on. This was certainly helped by this slightly strange thing that I learned they used to do in Italian cinema, which is where they filmed it all and then they dubbed the voices again over the video. So the audio track is sort of slightly detached from the video track, which is slightly strange when you first start watching it, but actually it means that every single word is crystal clear and very easy to hear because it was obviously recorded afterwards in like a sound studio or something. Okay, and finally for number 6, we're in my bedroom, which actually looks really, really dark. I look kind of evil. I feel like it's making my beard look like I'm a Bond villain or something. And the background is really Let's just go back outside. Okay, so let's just hang out on the balcony for number 6, which is Caro, diario, which is a film about this guy who rides around Rome/Italy in general on his scooter. And it's a mix of a documentary, autobiography, and sketch comedy, and I really, really enjoy it. The main guy who's in it is also the director who also wrote it and is actually playing himself in the film. And I feel like when you give one man that much degree of creative control over a project, it's always going to get a little bit bonkers, I think. And you can see that in 4-minute long shots of him just riding his scooter around Rome with like some music over the back of it and nothing else. You can see that in the constant fourth wall breaking and the fact that he narrates things that are about to happen and then they happen and then we move on. Heads up though that it doesn't I can't see that it tends to come with subtitles. When I watched it, there were no Italian subtitles, no English subtitles, and this was on YouTube Movies. So that was slightly frustrating, but it was also quite an interesting challenge because I'd never watched a film before in Italian without at least one of those subtitles. I still managed to understand it though, and I still managed to get a lot of the humour, and it is a very funny film. If you can find a version with subtitles, then you'll be golden.
Ti prego, passami papà. Ti faccio il maialino.
Okay, so those are some of my favourite Italian films so far, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Did I miss something that you really love? Is there something you'd like to hear more on? Would you like to see more videos like this? Because I have a huge list of Italian films that I really want to get through, and any excuse to make another video and sit down in bed and just watch them for 3 days, I will gladly take. So let me know in the comments. And also scroll down to see what others are saying. There's always a really nice chat going on in my comments. Thank you so much, guys. So if you're not leaving a comment yourself, then scroll down and see what other people are saying. And on your way past that like/subscribe button, then remember to hit them both if you want to. There's language content right here on this channel every week, and if you subscribe, you will get that straight into your YouTube newsfeed. For now though, guys, I think that is about it. I think I've exhausted all the different ways that I can use this balcony and the kitchen and my very dark bedroom. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Ciao. 'Cause all I do is work.